Even though he's a few days late commentating on the story, Godfrey would take to social media in order to discuss the black man Telvin Osborne, who was murdered by his white girlfriend, Hannah Grace. Now, as soon as the public found out about Osborne's social media activity, all empathy went out the window for him.
You probably hadn't heard nothing about that.
No.
Yeah, I figured. What? No, it's just different.
I don't listen to stuff that you listen to.
I know we have different YouTube algorithms. So basically, a couple weeks ago, this guy was shot by I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife. I really don't know much about the story. All I know is that there were things that came across my feed about 2 weeks ago about this going on. But the gist of it for me is that in the story, I saw a lot of videos basically being upset with him because of his previous comments that he had made on social media. And he had made some pretty bad comments. I actually did see a couple of them. He had made some pretty bad comments about women, pertaining to black women. And honestly, they were bad. They were bad. They were not good at all. But with that, it's kind of the reaction to him in the situation that he's in right now, which he's no longer here, and what the comments he had made while he was here. The reaction by some others, because he's no longer here. He's no longer here to defend, the comments. Honestly, they're not defensible, the ones I saw. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he's no longer here. And so I guess my thing was that the two wrongs make a right. Meaning, all right, what he said was bad. What he said was really bad. But at the end of the day, he's no longer here, and he still has a family. He still has possibly a mother. I think he does have a brother. He has other family members that are here. And basically online, people are going at him for what he said. And, I mean, he's not here to hear that. But the people who possibly loved him and are still around are here to hear all the things that are being said about him.
You get what the fuck you deserve. You play silly ass games, you win silly prizes. I don't wish this on anybody, but the fact that you were shitting on black women like that, and you said, I'll die for my girl. I'll die. Well, you did.
Actually, do you remember him? We went to see him. Maybe, but we went to see his comedy thing.
Mm-hmm.
As Godfrey reminded his followers about the story on his Instagram, his caption would read, "This story is crazy. This Telvin Osborne guy was murdered by his white girlfriend, Hannah Grace. She claims that she was cleaning her gun. I'm not an expert, but I thought when you clean your gun, the bullets are empty. I thought it was messed up, but then I found out that he's been dogging black women, and I get really annoyed by these black dudes who dog black women. Your mama's black. Your grandmother's black. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the sacrifices that black women made. I want to feel bad for this guy, but quite frankly, I don't care. Karma is a B, especially when you're in these interracial relationships for an agenda, through self-hatred. You get what you deserve." Godfrey would then compare the story with a similar one involving a Nigerian man, Christian Obumseli, and his white girlfriend, OnlyFans model, Courtney Cleaney. Cleaney had murdered Obumseli and got sympathy from the public, only to later find out he made several negative comments towards black women as well. Regarding this, Godfrey would say, "Man, the ancestors are answering."
The ancestors are answering, boy. I don't wish this on anybody, but the fact that you are dating a white woman because you hate black women is some sick ass shit. It's sick shit, and I don't feel bad for your jackass ass either. And this goes for in the reverse. Black women that do that shit, dog black men and get with these white dudes, and white dudes be killed. I don't feel bad for your ass either.
What? You just gonna smile? You're gonna say? So with me, I don't know what the circumstances are surrounding these two individuals as far as why they were making, whatever comments they were making. Is it right? No. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I feel like I've been around enough people to understand that a lot of people have things going on that we don't understand at times. And whether it be right or whether it be wrong, at times it's not for me with, to try to understand like why they're saying certain things. I don't know how somebody was brought up. I don't know what happened in their past. I don't know if people are saying stuff just to try to get attention. I don't know why people are doing certain things. I don't know if it's something that is, how do you say? I don't even know if you can say that you need prescriptions for to handle. I don't know. And so with that being said, it's that, I mean, how much weight do I put on something that somebody says that I really don't know? Like, how much is that really affecting me? And if it is affecting me, at that point, like, what is wrong with me? I don't know his reason for saying those. And honestly, do I really care? Honestly, no. To say that he got what he deserved, the two wrongs make a right.
It's not for us to judge.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody really deserves to die, I don't think. But if they do, I mean, we're not the ones to judge who that is and why.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, too, that he had a problem with women in general. And maybe you just heard the black comments because that's what was projected.
I don't know.
But cleaning your gun at 3:30 in the morning, I mean...
Obviously, there's more to that story. Like I said, it's just some of the things that I, had seen online. And I don't know what's around this, and I'm not taking up for this guy at all, because honestly, I don't know the dude. It's not anything you can take up for anybody. But what is, like I said, our role in, tragedy happened. Don't know what the state of the person before this tragedy happened. Don't want to know what the mental state. Don't know what was going on with him. But, like I said, the two wrongs make a right. And the same thing for him. Like, if there were things that happened to him for him to think this way, does that wrong also make it right for him to say what he was saying? It's complicated. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is gonna be short. But I just saw this, and I think it probably came out and got a little bit more traction, especially in my feed, because it was an interracial relationship. But I just didn't think didn't think the reaction, just because of the comments that he had made, honestly, to me, justified the reaction from other people, because this man still does have a family. This man still does have people that are still living that are seeing these things, and they might agree at the same time. It's like, he may have had some issues, but for those possible issues to be compounded by other people in such a tragedy like this, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I know I don't feel good.
He could have had deep issues from something that could have potentially happened to him when he was younger.
If this was a wrongful, shooting, should there still not be justice served?
Yeah, I think it's two separate, completely different issues.
Yeah.
And him and what he did, and her and what she did.
Godfrey would then continue to point out the hypocrisies he's seen among black people in interracial relationships. He would go on to say, if you love somebody, you should love them because you love them, not because you hate your own race. And a lot of people tend to do that. They feel, oh, I'm going to go on to the other side. Listen, I can tell you from experience, I know people in interracial relationships, and black dudes I know with their white girlfriends would say like the N-word and shit like that, and they would forgive it. I go, but if a black woman said something crazy to you, you would be all up in arms and shit going off on her and not give her a chance. But a white woman just said the N-word and all kind of shit, and you gave her a chance because you hate yourself so much and have no effing self-esteem. I
see a lot of this for that. Like if somebody did this online, then somebody else did that, is that you would react this way. Basically, every situation has multiple layers, and so it's kind of hard to say this or that towards this situation versus this situation. What's going on in the moment now? With the whole N-word, I know I grew up saying it. I know every once in a while, I think it's very, very, very few times it comes out, especially, when I'm around my friends. But for the most part, we have tried to stop saying it. Like, we don't even, like, me and all my friends are black.
I was saying, when you say we, clarify, because that doesn't mean we.
all my friends are black. But we don't even use it anymore. We used it a lot when we were growing up, but, just as in general, I mean, if I'm, being in a racial relationship, if like you shouldn't be using it and I shouldn't be using it either. There's no way around it. I don't think it's a good terminology to be using.
Yeah.
In the end, Godfrey would reiterate to his viewers that he does not feel bad for these kinds of black men, and ended his video with a tribute to comedian Paul Mooney, telling the young black men that were murdered by their white girlfriends they got their nigga wake up call. So what do you guys think about Godfrey's stance on Telvin Osborne, who was murdered by his white girlfriend, Hannah Grace, after Osborne talked down on black women?
Oh, there's that word again. Yeah, that seems to kind of go out quite a bit. Yeah, it look, that's on the regular. That goes out quite a bit. The wake up call. But listen, regardless of what anybody else thinks, like I do feel bad, because can you do something wrong? Can you make mistakes in your life? And you know, at this point in time, there's no chance to look back and to redeem for mistakes that you have made, and that's the ultimate sad part to me, because I mean, all of us have made mistakes. All of us have done stuff that we shouldn't have. Before the internet, luckily, when I was growing up, there was no internet, because this might. Now, I wasn't saying anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, some of the stuff that we done that, you know, was not caught on camera, or we could not, you know, tweet out about, or whatever. It's like, when we're young, like, thank goodness the internet was not available. But you know, the mistakes that, you know, we made, and a lot of us made, we have grown and been able to, you know, change our ways, or you know, have had different, you know, circumstances where you've had more insight into people and into different things to maybe hopefully change your mind to a better mindset. But at this point in time, once, you know, you're gone, there is no redemption for that. So I guess for me, that's I don't know, it might be the saddest part. I had to eat a steak now tonight. You playing tonight?
No. I'm just along for the ride.